It's a new month, summer is over, and today gameranx wants to bring you the top 20 new games of October 2015. Transformers Devastation should get you excited, at least if you like Platinum games, which I do. Bayonetta and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance are a couple of shining examples of action beat-em-up games, and Transformers Devastation looks to be the next in the line of greatness. The gameplay is a lot like those two games, except for you can transform into a vehicle. It looks extremely fast-paced and exactly what you would expect from Platinum, and I can't wait to play it. Guitar Hero is back after a pretty long hiatus with Guitar Hero Live. It's essentially a complete reboot of the series because it kinda got a little bloated and messy. They wanted to take a back-to-basics approach that kind of harnessed what people originally liked about Guitar Hero, which was that it made you feel as though you were a hero of guitar, instead of basically being a marketing machine for rock music, which had not had a marketing machine in a very long time. 3D stages and characters are gone, and they are using a new live-action footage approach that they filmed with motion cameras in order to be able to transition between reactions from the people around you in case you mess up or are doing really good. It actually sounds pretty cool, and I'm willing to give Guitar Hero another shot. Wasteland 2 is a post-apocalyptic RPG that's actually the sequel to the 1988 video game Wasteland. Now, many games, including the original Fallout, kind of continued the tradition that was started with Wasteland. There's never actually been a direct sequel or even something that took place in the same world. Thanks to crowdfunding, that's changed, and Wasteland 2 was actually released in 2014. This is the director's cut and is coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Basically, in 1998, a nuclear holocaust took place after a bunch of meteors sparked a global nuclear war. Basically, if you like the old Fallout, you'll probably like Wasteland 2. It's pretty, it's fun, and for some people it's extremely nostalgic. Warhammer End Times Vermintide is a first-person action game that's actually the first Warhammer video game to be set in the End Times period of the Warhammer fantasy setting. Essentially, you're one of 5 heroes tasked with the defense of a town of the Empire against a large-scale invasion by Clan Fester. As a multiplayer first-person action game with both melee and long-range combat, and a bit of a Bloodborne vibe going to it, I can't find any fault in this. Warhammer fans are gonna love it, and I think it's gonna make a bunch of new Warhammer fans because it's really appealing. The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth is a great new DLC for pretty much one of the best roguelike dungeon crawling games ever made. First off, it comes with an expanded main game, including a new final area that's been added with a final boss and new ending. There's also a new game mode called Greed Mode. It's basically all about risk and reward, and again, new final boss, new ending. There's more than 1,000 new rooms in this expansion, making it the size of a new game. Not only are there new rooms, there's new items, new chapters, a new seed code combo page. I could really go on for a very long time, but it's Binding of Isaac. That's really all you need to know. Give me more Binding of Isaac. Thank you. Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water is the first main entry of the Fatal Frame franchise to be released in North America since 2005. Basically, it's a ridiculously creepy horror game in which your only weapon against ghosts is taking photographs of them, which cool. I love having a photo of things that I'm terrified of that are attacking me at the moment I'm taking the photo of them. These games are really terrifying, in all honesty, and if you want to get scared, play it. It's also a fun game with a well-executed story. Chibi Robo Ziplash is a 3DS platformer starring this ridiculous little robot who cleans. And no, this isn't like playing Roomba. It's a 2D platformer that's extremely competent and takes a just completely different approach. Without being too much of a throwback, it harkens back to when platformers were a lot more creative. Just to put it in the best possible terms, it's a really creative game. The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes is a new multiplayer Zelda game. Like Four Swords Adventures before it, 3 separate multicolored links have to basically work together to get through different Zelda situations. If you're familiar with Zelda, or indeed basically any game that came after Zelda, you know the heart meter. Players share a single heart meter, which makes it very hard to want to be competitive. You want to work together because if you don't, you're basically punishing yourself. The game supports both local and online multiplayer, and even sports a competitive Coliseum mode. Civilization Beyond Earth Rising Tide is the first expansion pack to be released for Civilization Beyond Earth. The thing people are most excited about regarding this is the new diplomacy system. It has been completely rebuilt from Beyond Earth, for more transparent deals with the artificial intelligence, and an interesting capital system that looks to actually kind of mimic politics in its own weird way. On top of that, there's new aquatic gameplay, including naval units like the submarine, and the ability to build floating cities. If you played Beyond Earth, it's basically mandatory you pick up Rising Tide because it looks like everything like such a massive improvement over an already fantastic game. Tales from Zestria is a Japanese RPG. It's actually the 15th main entry of the Tales series, and really looks to be one of the most beautiful JRPGs ever made. Just like other Tales games, it uses something called an action-based linear motion battle system, which is a very complicated way of saying it's an action RPG with some turn-based elements. It's actually been in development since 2011, which is a long time for a JRPG not made by Square. For Square, that's nothing. But this isn't made by Square. And on top of that, it looks to be on a quality that not too many JRPGs are nowadays, which in my opinion is to blame when people say, why aren't there any more JRPGs? Well, they kinda oversaturated and got bland. If there were more games like the Tales games, JRPGs would not be such a tough thing to come by. Disgaea 5 Alliance of Vengeance is a tactical role-playing game, and the 6th in the series. Now, tactical means it leans much closer to a strategy game than the typical JRPG would. It's kind of a genre that was popularized by Final Fantasy Tactics way back in the day. The central plot element for this game is revenge, so don't let its bright presentation fool you. Dragon Ball Z Extreme Budoten on the Nintendo 3DS is a 2D fighting game that features over 100 fighters in both one-on-one and team battles. Listen, I'm not going to try to explain Dragon Ball Z to you, it's ridiculous. And when they get their fighting games right, they are beyond ridiculous and beyond fun. Now, bear in mind they have had some missteps in the past, but Extreme Budoten does not look like one of them. It looks like a fantastic and enjoyable, fast-paced fighting game. And to be honest with you, when I see the prospect of that, I don't need to be sold with Dragon Ball Z. Throwing in Dragon Ball Z, just a bonus. Ridiculous, high-octane bonus. Sword Coast Legends is a role-playing game. It's actually set within the universe of Forgotten Realms, which is, you know, from Dungeons & Dragons. That old thing. The game is played from an isometric viewpoint, and kind of resembles older games like Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, except it's a lot prettier and rendered in 3D despite the isometric perspective. One of the kind of cool things about it is that it's actually going to allow players to be the Dungeon Master, or DM if you've ever played, and therefore will resemble the tabletop version of D&D more than any other video game up to this point. Another big bonus, the music director for Dragon Age Origins and Fallout 3 is composing the music for the game, so when you're playing, you're really gonna have some gorgeous music to go along with your conquests. Rebel Galaxy is a big capital ship explosion simulator. The battles you're going to get into in Rebel Galaxy are going to remind you of the larger fights in the Star Wars series, like probably most specifically the capital ship battle around the second Death Star in Return of the Jedi. You don't feel like you're exploring, you don't feel like you're in a slick, futuristic future. You feel like you've been through a lot, but it's time to go through more. Rebel Galaxy looks like it is a gritty, lived-in version of what so many people have tried to do so many times. Uncharted the Nathan Drake collection brings much better character models to the 3 original Uncharted games. With Uncharted 4 coming very soon, they wanted to give you something to tide you over on account that they delayed it. And let's face it, they also wanted you to buy something. And we will. Because we love Uncharted, don't we? I do anyway. All 3 of these games were just fantastic. Even if you found the story in the third one to be not perfect and kind of repetitive, the game itself was still gold. It was just such a refined, perfect version of this really, really fun, revolutionary entry to the third-person action-adventure shooter. Rock Band 4 is getting back to basics much in the way that Guitar Hero Live is. The game is refocusing on its core gameplay, taking a step away from the instruction angle it took in Rock Band 3, but at the same time bolstering the social interactions of the game. It looks like it's going to be doing the things that Rock Band does best, while shaving off some of the stuff that it doesn't. It's not as drastic as a reboot as Guitar Hero Live, but it does look like they're going to get it right. Assassin's Creed Syndicate takes the open-world exploration and assassin game to Victorian-era London and plops you right in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. Combat is a lot more fast-paced, but at the same time it features two protagonists, one of which places a lot more emphasis on stealth. The London map they've created for the game is 30% larger than the Paris map in Unity, and it actually looks like one of the more exciting Assassin's Creed games to happen over the last several years. The Witcher 3 Hearts of Stone is a brand new expansion for The Witcher 3. A lot of people talk about the Bloody Baron quest like it's its own game, and it takes you on a journey that's dark, deep, interesting, emotional, and frankly disturbing at times. Hearts of Stone is being billed as a quest that runs similarly to that, and The Witcher 3 is a game that is more than just fun to play, it is just an incredible experience. WWE 2K16 looks like an awesome update to the 2K wrestling franchise. The smoothly handling wrestling game comes in for 2K15 with a completely revamped My Career mode that's significantly expanded from last year's game. The interesting thing is that they've actually gone ahead and made it so that the character's personality is influenced through actions, like forming alliances and rivalries. And if last year's title is any indication, this year's is going to be fantastic. Halo 5 Guardians looks like the biggest Halo yet. Developer 343 did a great job with Halo 4 and created a brand new engine for it. On top of what looks like a pretty good campaign with 4-player co-op, they're broadening the multiplayer with new modes such as Warzone, which combine player versus player and player versus environment gameplay. Everything I've seen of this game has shown that it's probably going to be the best entry to the Halo series, and that's really saying something. And a bonus for you, Life is Strange Episode 5. As you may or may not know, Episode 5 is the finale to the entire story. In case you're not familiar with Life is Strange, you're a young photography student who saves her old friend Chloe by discovering she can rewind time. This causes them to sort of expose themselves to a dark side of the town that they're from, as they gradually discover the truth about a disturbing disappearance that happened to a fellow student. The chapter is titled Polarized, and they've been being very ambiguous with where it's going to go, so it's likely going to surprise a lot of people. Which of these games are you excited for the most? Leave a comment and tell us. Or if you happen to know of a game that we didn't cover, make sure you tell us about it. Everything you can. Don't forget to click that like button either, and subscribe if you haven't already. We upload new videos every single day, and the absolute best way to see them first is a subscription. As always, we thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you again here on gameranx.